Can anyone hear me at home? Yay.
We can now.
Captain Hugh Williams, can you?
Yeah, I've got you loud and clear, Wendy. It's as if you're
Right,
sat
okay.
next door to me.
Oh. Won't be a sec. Just hang on a minute, because Gareth's got to get back to...
Right, apologies, everyone. You obviously, those at home missed the start. So what we'll do, we'll start the meeting formally again. So, all yours, Chair.
Right, good afternoon and welcome to the Armed Forces Community Covenant panel. So, we've had the apologies. Have anybody got any apologies on screen? Nope. Agenda item 2, disclosure of personal prejudicial interest. Agenda item 3, minutes to approve and sign the minutes of the previous meeting. Have everybody read them on screen? Okay, it must be a true record then. Agenda item 4, Armed Forces Covenant Regional Project, and I did welcome her before, our new AFLO, Finola Pickwell, and she is not happy that she's got to speak again. Over to you, Finola.
Good afternoon, everybody. I've been in post a month now, just over a month. I'm getting round to as many places as I can to meet you all. I believe, Gareth did send out my contact details when I first joined. Thank you, Gareth. If anybody needs any help with the Armed Forces Covenant or any projects, please do get in touch. Thank you.
Thanks, Finn. Have anybody got any questions for Finola? Or need any help? No, thank you. Agenda item 5, update from MOD. Captain Hugh Williams, over to you.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. Apologies I can't be there in person. It's my first day back off leave, and the inbox has taken over my life. So we held a military support meeting in Mansion House at the beginning of September, where we looked at several events that are coming up and some that have now concluded. The big one was the Duke of Edinburgh Gower Walk, which took place on the 9th of September. About 180 participants on that charity walk for Duke of Edinburgh. And they raised about £70,000, which was absolutely fantastic. A lot of people completed the 22-mile route and a fair majority did the 10-mile walk as well. Really well organised, lots of assistance by the cadet forces, which was absolute. Without their help and support, the day wouldn't have gone off as well as it did. So a big thank you there to the cadet forces. Down in the Grange, we had a civilian organisation called Our Mind Eyes, which is one of the African charities that works out of Swansea. They came in on the 4th of September with about 25 children, young adults, and it was a really good event for them to come in, look at what the military does, give them a couple of challenging events for them to participate in, and they all enjoyed it. And fair play to Harmond Eyes, they brought a lovely buffet along as well, which was very well received by us lot here in the Grange. So that's what we've done in the last sort of 3 months. There's been lots more going on. One of our lads has just returned from training the Ukrainian army, so he's back, which is good news. Safe and sound, and we've got another one of our young ladies preparing now to set off on her sort of assistance training Ukrainian army as well. And currently the regiment have 5 soldiers deployed on that type of operation, all based in the UK, but delivering training effect to the Ukrainians, which is great news there. Forthcoming events. Remembrance season is fast approaching us. And I think it's a time for us within the military to reflect and remember our friends and colleagues who are no longer with us. And there's a lot going on, and I've got to take my hat off to Phil Flower for everything he does here with the remembrance and the RBL. Without Phil's input and dogged determination to get these things in place, I don't think Swansea would be as well supported as what it is. There's a raft of events upcoming. I won't read them all out. And I'm sure that Phil, I can see Phil is in attendance there, and he will give hopefully an insight of what's coming up. Unless you want me to go through them very quickly here, Phil, now. I've got them all on my screen ready to go.
No, it's okay. Here we've handed them out, so I'll just run through them quickly in about 5 minutes. Is what's okay?
Brilliant, but yeah. So Phil will cover off remembrance. So I just want to highlight a few points. I know you've all said you've read the minutes, and we read the minutes on the day that the meeting takes place, and sometimes we don't get to where we were supposed to get. So I'm just going to go through a few points I raised on the last meeting that I sent through, and they were included within the minutes. Okay, so 157 Regiment, and in particular 223 Squadron, we provide support to as many agencies in the local area as we can. And it's good that we are being asked to support events such as open days and providing activity sessions for local groups. Okay. Please note, and this is to everyone there now, and I wish I'd been at the last meeting so I could say it in person, but I wasn't. But I'm here saying it now. Okay, I don't cherry pick organisations or charities that I feel warrant my support. I don't do that. If you come and ask me if I can help, I will help. Okay, and I just want to get that point across to everyone now. So please take that on board. If you need my help, ask me. I will help if I can. If I can't help, I won't help, because working with charities, the military have specific guidelines and protocols that we've got to follow, and it is difficult at times to support charities with workforce and equipment. So that's my points there. Lots coming up, as I said, with remembrance. Okay, so I don't know who else we've got on. I don't think I've got anyone from the Navy on. Can't see Andy isn't on at the moment.
No, I don't think so, Hugh.
And I know that Rob Govia was going to try and dial in, but he is absolutely up to his eyes in it as well. So I think that's all we've got from an MOD perspective at this moment in time. Pending any questions, Chair, that's me complete.
Thank you, Hugh. Any questions for Hugh? Anybody? I think you must have said it good and proper then, Hugh. No questions for you.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna call Tom Sloan in because he has to leave the meeting to explain about the Ospreys.
Thank you. Yeah, apologies. I have to go into another meeting at past, so I'll try and stay on as to the last possible minute. We have set a date for this year's Armed Forces event at the stadium, so we're going to be running that on November the 11th when we play Glasgow, at 5:15 in the Swansea.com stadium. Having spoken to Major Amy Pelter, Rob Govia, Ben Brookman, and Paul from the Marines, we've already got some kind of plan. So I think they're reaching out to everyone to see what involvement they can have. The Marines are already come and scoped the roof, and they're going to be doing the abseil down with the match ball, and we're potentially looking at parachuters in and a few other things, which is great and should be a really good day. But if there's any organisations out there that would like to come and put up a information stall, get involved in the day, come along, bring groups along, please drop me a little message. We are hoping to have as many people from various organisations that can all connect on the day as possible. We'll be working with Wayne and the Swansea Veterans Hub to get them down as well. So it should be, I don't know who was here last year, but it was a fantastic event, and hopefully we'll have another great day. That's it really. It's just a real quick one to put that on the radar. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Agenda item 6. Oh, would you like to go? Would you like to go, Phil, now while we're on
Yeah,
the
sure.
Signatory stuff? And
Just a quick update from the Royal Air Force Association. We've got about 22 members and meet on a monthly basis, and similarly with the British Legion. This is the first year for the return of the Brangwyn Hall Festival of Remembrance. A bit disappointed that we haven't touched base really with the Ospreys, because obviously the 11th is the date for the Brangwyn Hall, and there's a lot of work gone into that. A brand new sort of a reset for the Festival of Remembrance as it has run before. And we've got the Morriston Orpheus Choir, City of Swansea Concert Band, Pipe Band, and lots of others. So the tickets will be free because the whole event is provided by the leader and the City and County of Swansea. So there's no charge to attend that. So obviously I'm sort of really focused on that event. So I know we're going to go to one of the veterans hubs on Saturday. Perhaps Phil, we can meet as well and see how we can open this up, especially the opening ceremony, which is different this year, because we used to have 2 following the guidelines of what was done in the past, in that we had one in the Civic Centre and then one in the market. But what we found out is that the veterans in the market didn't have any time to enjoy it themselves. It was literally a half-an-hour event, which I didn't think was purposeful for an opening ceremony for the Poppy Appeal. So again, with the support of the Armed Forces Champion, the leader, and the City and County of Swansea, the opening ceremony will be in the Brangwyn Hall. It was at 11 o'clock, but there's a cabinet meeting on at 11. So we're going to put it forward to 12 o'clock, and there'll be tea, coffee, and Welsh cakes there. And we've got 10 tables of 10 for individuals, especially veterans, to come along and be a part of that opening ceremony. I think it's got to be more inclusive. So that's a big change. So if anybody wants to come to that or have my details, then I can give you those at the end of the meeting. And the more that attend, the better. Similarly, we want to engage with the veterans to try and help us with the Poppy Appeal. I'm not sure if you know that all the major stores in Great Britain now all actually count the money themselves. So that takes a lot of responsibility and any security issues off the volunteers taking boxes home and counting them, etc. So that's a huge change. And probably about 80% of the money collected for the Poppy Appeal comes from the superstores. So if we've got anybody that wants to help, then obviously they can contact me. But yeah, it's a full raft of events. The Brangwyn Hall on the 19th of October, then Dannegraig Cemetery, which is over in Portennant. We have a lot of schools attending there, Lord Lieutenant, High Sheriff, Lord Mayor, Armed Forces Champion, etc. And then we're hoping to replicate the Garden of Remembrance, which is similar to the one in Cardiff, where we put out about 3,000 crosses. And the cadet forces are going to come in line with that. We're just waiting for a final permission to use Morgan's for an after event there. So that will be taking place. It's on the main Central Distributor Road for Swansea. So it's probably the best place for the Swansea and for the City of Swansea to show their engagement fully with Remembrance and the Poppy Appeal. Then we've got an event for the Great Western Railway, which is at the train station in Swansea. And again, if people want to attend that and put a wreath on the train, we have had issues where people just turn up on the day, and obviously to make sure that the health and safety and everything is sorted correctly, we can't end up with too many people on the platform. So if anybody does want to come along, please approach me. It's a short service. It's really early in the morning, so there'll be no cadets there. It ranges between 6:30 and 7:30. And then you look at the 11th on that sheet, it's pretty busy with the Cenotaph service on the seafront, the Silence in the Square on the same time, which is organised by the City of Swansea in Castle Gardens. Then we've got the Brangwyn Hall in the evening. And then we've got another Cenotaph service on the Sunday. You may question why we've got 2. Every 7 years, the Cenotaph service lands on the 11th, so Sunday the 11th, and everybody attends on the 11th. For the next 6 years, everybody becomes a little bit sort of confused, and they always attend on Remembrance Sunday anyway. So we're doing 2. And actually last year, we had as many, if not more, people attend the remembrance service on the Sunday as we did to the 11th. So, and you can understand that locally everybody's having their own remembrance services. So, you know, it's open for everybody to attend anyway. The parade then is as normal, forming up and in outside of the Grand Theatre, and forming up and leaving at 10 to 2. And then the service will be at 2 o'clock for 2:30 in St Mary's. And you know, if anybody wants any information, if you want seats to be kept or anything like that, then just look, please contact me. If there's anything that you can suggest that can be done better, then please come forwards. But as I've said, there's a new start with the opening ceremony to include more people, especially veterans. And the Brangwyn Hall has been changed as well, because it's not appropriate now to have people marching down the centre. It takes a huge chunk of time. We never get it right because we end up with more associations than say they're coming or less. And we haven't got that many associations anymore. So the standard bearers will be on the stage. So it'll be a lot more, it'll be a lot slicker. So that's it. If anybody wants to help with the poppy peel, all help is greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Phil.
Okay.
I just wish they'd make the train to Paddington at 8 o'clock, because getting down there after 6 is really early.
Yeah.
But hopefully, if everybody who's listening or not listening and can forward to somebody else, that you need to get in touch with Phil about the station, because it becomes a little bit of a well, it was a bit of a nightmare last year.
I
but
think
you
the
need
main
to-
thing is that we need to engage with the veterans hubs more. So please contact me, and especially for the opening ceremony, we've got 10 tables of 10. So I really want to fill those, and each hub, if they have 10 guests want to come along, then please contact me. I know it's in just under a fortnight's time.
Thank you. Agenda item 6 is Swansea Bay University Health Board Armed Forces Forum, and it's over to Victoria.
Thank you very much. Am I on?
Yes.
Hi everybody, I am Victoria Williams. I'm the clinical lead for Veterans NHS Wales, if you haven't heard from me before. I've had apologies from Steve as well. He would have tried to make it if he could. So update from us. We have now officially a new member of staff started with us last week. His name is Samuel Thompson. He's going to be busy, but he has taken our waiting list down beautifully. I think we've got 3 people on our waiting list remaining. It looks fantastic. In the last 3 months, we've had 26 opted in, 26 referred in, 17 have opted in, and I've assessed 16 by myself. So our waiting list was getting big, but we've got it right down again now. So that is fantastic. And I think the waiting time from referral to assessment, depending on when you opt in, is a week. The second you bring your opt-in back, you get an assessment appointment a week later, which is good because we're getting a few people not turning up for assessments at the moment, which is what it is. The other thing to tell you is that annual report came out for 21-22 early this week. I don't think I've sent it around, but I will. Now, one of the things that it says is that guess who was the busiest health board in the whole of Wales? There's no prize for coming first, but it was us. So we are the busiest health board throughout Wales. I always knew that, and now I've got the evidence to prove it. We have more opt-ins than anyone else, and we assess more people than anyone else, and we get more people through therapy than anyone else. So that shows you that people in Swansea are accessing help, which is exactly what we want people to do. Because we have a new member of staff, I can have a breath and a cup of tea now. But also, if you want me to come and do a talk on veterans and Veterans NHS Wales and what we do, let me know. I am happy to come round. It's been a year because of COVID. I haven't done many talks at all. I used to do them regularly pre-COVID. But yeah, if you want me to come, I'm more than happy to come and have a chat. And I think that's about it from me. Any questions?
Any questions for Victoria? What's your,
Quick one. Is Sam full-time?
Can you put your mic?
what do you
on?
make?
Oh, sorry. Hello, is Sam full-time?
Sam is 30 hours, 4 days.
Good.
That's great to have a new member of staff who's doing the job.
Yes, months.
Yeah. And as you know, I'm always really grateful for anybody I send to you and the work you do with the veterans, because without help, goodness knows where they'd be. I mean, not everybody's getting help, but that would be their choice, wouldn't it? No, thank you again, Victoria. Agenda item 7, supporting pupils from service families. Emma Reeves? Emma? She's not there. Oh. Oh, sorry, we can't discuss that then because we haven't got anybody to discuss. Agenda item 8 is an update from panel members. So if anybody would, who's
Calvin Hughes from Prison Chat.
Calvin Hughes?
Good afternoon, can you hear me okay?
I couldn't quite hear that, Calvin.
Hi, can you hear me okay now?
Yes, yes.
Hi, I'm just giving a quick update from HMP Swansea. We obviously been working the last couple of months now on preparation on doing a little display ourselves. We got a small cohort of veterans in custody with us within the establishment. We've been working with them over the last couple of years, improving support with the veterans in care. So they're giving some back now to the prison itself. So we are designing, or we designed, and we got to go out in front of the establishment for a remembrance parade. We got a 5 foot that the veterans have helped now, sorry, drawing of a soldier which is carved out of wood. That is painted and varnished. That will be going outside the establishment. We also have a wooden wreath that's been made with all poppies around the wreath. That's been made by veterans as well. That's about circumference, about 3 foot circumference. We have a bench that's been going out to the establishment, and then across the railings we had, I think we've had about 500 poppies being made as well within the establishment out of wood. They've been varnished and painted by the veterans in custody, and they will be placed on the railings all outside the establishment. So we were hoping to have a nice visual display to give back for the Remembrance Day as well, with outside Swansea being covered in poppies and veterans supporting veterans in the community. I'd just like to say thank you as well for the Swansea Veterans Hub for allowing us to kind of use materials that they purchased or they've acquired for us to create the poppies as well.
Thank you. That sounds amazing what the veterans have done in there, and it's going to look amazing when they're up on the railings and wherever they are.
I hope so. As you look at the establishment on the right hand side, hopefully it should be a sea of red, and it should stand out nicely.
Great, thank you. That sounds really amazing. Thank you. Is there anybody else?
Yeah. Can I just say, I went and did a wellbeing talk, I think it was last week or maybe the week before, and you had someone in there doing yoga sessions. So there was all the veterans came together and there was a yoga session and then a wellbeing talk after. And I just thought what Kev was doing is absolutely brilliant. He's making such a huge change in there, and it was great to see. So yeah, I think he's doing a great job.
Thank you.
Sure.
Right. Hello, everybody. I'm Natalie, local area coordinator for Swansea Council. So I'll just give you a quick update on that first, if that's okay. So from my perspective, I've changed areas from Gower to Birchgrove, Llansamlet, Trachloyne and Swansea Vale. The City and County of Swansea has full local area coordination cover. And you might not be familiar with the model, but it's very person-centred, and we will support anybody in the community, anybody that might feel stuck or facing a change or challenge and just need somebody in their corner to help them as they journey towards their vision of a good life. Anybody can refer into local area coordination. We call it an introduction, so people can introduce themselves, or family and friends can, or the third sector or statutory services. We work very closely with statutory services, complementary to statutory services, and we love working collaboratively and working in partnership, with third sector and other organisations. So please have a look on the Swansea Council website under local area coordination, because it tells you who we all are. There's a map of the county, tells you the names of the 23 of us, our email addresses, our mobile telephone numbers. We've all got social media, Facebook profiles and pages. Please engage with us, because we are here for the county. Armed Forces Bikers Veterans Charity is a national charity, and our region in South West Wales are called the Boyos, and Swansea Covenant are fantastic supporters of the bikers, and thank you again for the grant that you give us this year towards the cost of running our national fundraiser. And that, again, we were able to donate over £3,000 back to the charity. And because we are so active in the region, Swansea veterans, West Glamorgan veterans do benefit from the grant giving that we do. So the way that Armed Forces Bikers work, we are a very small cog in a very big wheel. But veterans, unlike with the RBL, for instance, or with SAFA, you have to go through a caseworker to access your regiment or the RN Benevolent Fund or the RAF. With the Armed Forces Bikers, veterans can apply for up to £2,000 per grant themselves. So all you need to do is have a look on the Armed Forces Bikers website, and there's the grant eligibility page and a grant request page, and it basically is just a free format box where you can tell us who you are, what you've done in service, and what support you need. And third-party organisations can actually refer on a veteran's behalf as well. And we have a board of trustees, and we have grant managers, and a grant manager would be allocated that grant request. They speak to the veteran, and we can turn that grant around pretty quickly. And like I said, up to £2,000. And the whole ethos of the charity is to relieve veterans out of poverty. So whatever that might mean. So it could be financial poverty, somebody that's homeless and needs to move into a property that might need a bond and 1 month's rent. It could be food poverty, or even in-work poverty now. As we know, there's a lot of talk, isn't there, with in-work poverty now, And that could be just, so we are supporting in-work poverty and the cost of living crisis. So we are very proud of our charity. We've been a charity for 11 years, and we have a lot of due diligence around our grant giving as well. And just wanted to reiterate again, thank you very much for your support. Yes, and I'm the regional fundraising officer for the Armed Forces Bikers. So in my free time and in my spare time, that's how I like to volunteer, is for that charity. But there's another organisation in Swansea that's just been created, and the chair can't unfortunately be here today. And his name is Colin Johnson. And there's a new Royal Navy Association branch in Swansea. And we meet the second Tuesday of every month in the Sea Cadet unit down in the marina. And already we have over 40 members. So we are going to be a very active branch. We are very lucky in Swansea that we have already a very big and active Royal Navy family, because we have Towie Division, which is part of HMS Cambria. We have a very active Sea Cadet unit. We have the Swansea Association of Wrens, which I'm part of. And we also have HMS Dragon Association, which I'm part of too. So those of you that might not know it, is because I'm a council officer, I'm a local area coordinator, but I am a Royal Navy veteran. And that started off as a Royal Navy Reserve person in Swansea in HMS Dragon. But just to let you know, we hope to commission the branch in February. The chair will be liaising with Swansea Covenant to obviously get everybody involved, because it will be quite a significant event. Yes, and we probably will be hopefully being in touch as well to try and utilise some of the Swansea Veterans Funds if there's anything left.
Yeah.
Yeah, any questions on any of those three organisations, please? Yeah.
Thank you, Nat.
Thank you.
I can assure you that the bikers are an amazing charity, and if you want to have a raucous party, go to the Boyos Bash, because I've been and did do a lot of dancing. Yeah, they are amazing, and I'm glad, and especially with the new with Colin, which I will be visiting, but I'm going to the dinner on Saturday, so yeah, so that will be. So Colin has approached me about different things within the Armed Forces Covenant, so it'll be good that that
Yeah.
started up for everybody.
It's brilliant. And Colin and I go back to 1990 when I was in the reserves with Colin, and he was one of the chiefs that recruited me into the reserves. So we have a very long-standing friendship, and he knows the work that I've done with the Poppy Factory and with SAFA, with my casework with SAFA. Prior to going into employment, and the work I do now as supporting people in the community. So he's asked me to be the welfare officer for the new branch, which I duly accepted. And what was lovely, just a quick little story, the Armed Forces Bikers attended the Ride to the Wall this weekend, which is a national event in the Royal Arboretum, which is in remembrance of everybody that's fallen, Armed Forces veterans that have fallen since World War II. So the Armed Forces Bikers were in attendance at that event. And I went to the Royal Navy muster point for the photograph at their memorial. And I met the Royal Navy Association Riders branch, which I've just duly signed up to as well. So there's so many connections, isn't there, in Swansea with all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we support the Swansea Veterans Hub and the Swansea Armed Forces Breakfast Club, because as you know, we're not a motorbike club, we are a charity, and we're very proud of ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Hugh?
Thank you, Chair. I'll just put my hand down. So one I didn't mention, which was remiss of me, was just to give everyone a heads up of looking forward, further forward than just up to Christmas. So Armed Forces Week 2024. Swansea will be the Armed Forces City of Wales for 2024. And we've slightly adjusted the timeline of when the Armed Forces Week will take place, so it falls in line with the Wales National Air Show. So next year's Wales National Air Show takes place on the 6th and 7th of July, 2024. And the 6th of July will be the focus for Armed Forces Day Wales and Armed Forces Day Swansea here in the city of Swansea. So what we've been doing, myself, the chair, the leader of the council, the Lord Mayor, 160 Brigade up in Brecon, we've all started to get together now and to plan as good an event as we can come up with that Swansea Council will deliver on behalf of the people and the Armed Forces of Swansea. Okay, so that's all going ahead now. We're going to conduct meetings every 2 months, probably up until about April, and then they'll become a little bit more frequent, monthly potentially, just to look at how the military can support Swansea, because it is Armed Forces Day, and this is what we're trying to explain to. And I've had this sort of conversation with lots of people in the past that, you know, Armed Forces Day is a celebration of the armed forces and not for the armed forces to all be working on parade and the likes of. But that's what it will be, because that's the only way that we can showcase ourselves of what we do and how we do it. But because we're pulling in the Wales event, tying it in with the air show, hopefully we'll have a lot more displays and things going on that will put a bigger and better show than what the air show normally is. Okay, so that's the plan, and that'll all be on the 6th of July. So potentially, and this is potentially, okay, because nothing's firmed up yet, the next meeting with David Price, the special events lead for Swansea Council, this is where we're all coming up with our bright ideas and good ideas. So if anyone's got any bright ideas and good ideas that they would like to be brought up, okay, if you can get them, Gareth, I'm going to abuse you here now, I am. All right, if you could send them to Gareth or to myself, okay, before the 4th, I'm sure it was the 4th. What was the date of the next? Bear with me. Let me just get the next meeting up.
Excellent.
It's when you come off holidays, Wendy, it is, isn't it? That's it.
It
7th.
is.
The 7th
I
of
thought it wasn't a 4th.
November. So if you can get anything points to me, okay, or to the chair, via Gareth, you know, we can then bring these to the meeting on the 7th of November to take into account the charities, the veterans organisations, and everyone else, because you've all got a say as well as what we have. Okay, so I think it's important that we get that across as well, and then we can feed all of this in, and we will try and come up with the best plan that will accommodate everyone. Chair, have you got anything else to say on that, or do you think I've ticked all the boxes there?
Yeah, I think you said it all. The only thing I would say to you, there's supposed to be going to be an offshoot meeting with the military wanting me to chair it, which is like meetings on meetings on meetings for one thing. So we'll see how that will progress. It'll have to be with David Price-Deer, because it's him that does the events in Swansea. So to do something without him, and Spencer as well. So we'll talk about that next time, and I'll speak to David in between.
Brilliant.
Oh,
Okay.
David, can you
I'm
say
here, Chair.
something?
I am here.
Hang on a minute, David. I'm going to ask you, are you willing to come with me to a meeting with the military?
I'm always happy to meet with you, Chair, you know that.
Oh, he's a flanneler. So you happy with all that? And have you
Yeah,
got
but-
anything to say about next year?
No, Hugh covered it off nicely, thank you.
Yeah. Great, thank you. Thank you. Do you want to say anything about your I'll go to Nat now. I'll go back to. Do you want to say anything about what you were doing for the veterans? It's worth people knowing. Put your mic on.
Hi, Paul Smith, Swansea RV veterans. Yeah, we can seem to be picking up a few more people for our surfing and dipping group. One thing I'd like to add, I don't know if anybody is aware of this. If you're ever stuck of a meeting room or somewhere to meet for veterans, if you get in touch with your local fire brigade, they have a conference room in each of their stations that you can hire for free. You know, I didn't even know about this because we were looking for somewhere, and I approached Morriston. Theirs is being refurbed at the moment, but when it's free, just let them know. And that's all of them in South Wales, apparently. And that was from a friend of mine with V8. They informed me that. That's it for me.
And it's not strawberry dipping. It's
No.
dipping in the water.
Yes, it is.
With hardly anything on.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yeah. Well,
and surfing, which is good for mental health.
it is. Yeah, I'm sure Phil can
yeah.
advocate that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Nat, you forgot what you were going to say now.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, because when you said about the free rooms, I'll just quickly add something in as well. So Tesco's Extra in Llansamlet and Forest Fach, they have community rooms, and they hire those rooms out for free to community groups. And the one in Llansamlet also does tea and coffee. So, and of course, Llansamlet, Tesco's, there's no charge for parking. So those three things, you know, a free room, free tea and coffee, free parking. So Tesco's, Llansamlet. Yeah, but I wanted to ask David. Hello, David. We've not met. But the Royal Navy Association, like I've said, is already growing in numbers. We're already up to 40, and it's going to be quite an event in February. And potentially the Sea Cadet unit might not be the most suitable venue for parking and for things like that. So we didn't know how to approach maybe the council, you know, for a venue, or like if it's an event, like a military event, if there's any ideas around what they can do. I'm sure the chair will talk to you about it, but that's something that's in our minds already for planning.
David?
Yeah, it's something we can take up offline, please. Let's take it outside of this meeting. If you want to get my details off Gareth, and we can pick it up offline.
Thanks, David.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Finola?
Well, just in addition to the fire services, that besides the free rooms, they also offer a safety check. So if you call your local fire station, they will come round and check your houses or houses of veterans for free and install free fire alarms and heat monitors, etc. But I also wanted to add 2 things that I forgot, remiss of me. On the 27th of October in the Princess Royal Theatre, we have the Mayor's Remembrance Concert in Neathport Talbot. If anybody wants to have tickets, if they get in touch with the box office, they have them there. There is concessions for veterans. And on the 28th of October in Aberavon Shopping Centre, we're having an information day. So it coincides with the raising of the flag and the dedication of the Garden of Remembrance within Aberfan Shopping Centre. But if any groups or charities want to come down and promote their organisations, if you get in touch with me, you can have a free stand.
Thanks, Finn. If there's no one else wants to speak, I want to say a few things. We're supposed to have had a talk on from the housing manager about housing veterans. And just to say, at this moment, there are over 8,000 people on the waiting list for homes. So everything is difficult, veterans included in that pot. So I'll just read out something. It's too long for me to read out everything. She'll be at the next meeting. She will be doing a talk on it. So if you want to, come along to the next meeting. So she just said, we have had a few inquiries of late regarding the process for veterans finding accommodation on a release from custody. The process that we follow is the prisoner pathway that has been in place since December 2015 and is followed by agencies within criminal justice and housing. Given the difficulties in sourcing accommodation, currently it is a challenge to secure permanent accommodation on release for anyone. However, Housing Options works very closely with probation and prison services to plan appropriate temporary accommodation on release for households who have a local connection with Swansea. And I've got a link here, which I'll give to Gareth and he could send it around. And the reason why I invited her here was because I've had several emails and messages to say that for certain veterans are not getting housed. Well, it doesn't really work like that. I will contact housing immediately and get them a roof over their heads if they haven't got one. But we cannot, and I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty because there's a legislation around and I want her to explain when she comes next month, is the fact that you either have to be on a list to get housing and you're not given priority because you are a veteran above people who've been on the list years. So she will explain better than I can, but it was a bit annoying for me because I am doing my best I can in my role to help as many veterans, and I'm sure everybody in this room knows that, but it is a little bit annoying when, and don't want to say this, but accused of not helping veterans when they are number 1 up there on my list. So it will be explained easier and better than me, but that's the way we are with veterans. Finn, if you want to go in.
Yeah, a lot of people are misunderstand the Armed Forces Covenant. The Armed Forces Covenant is there to ensure that the armed forces aren't disadvantaged. When it comes to housing, once you have left the armed forces, the Armed Forces Covenant doesn't necessarily mean you have a different place on the list. It's there to cover those in transition who have recently left the armed forces. The Armed Forces Covenant doesn't necessarily cover you as a veteran, especially a veteran who's left the services over 5 or 6 years on the housing register. I know that the Armed Forces champions in all 3 of the local authorities that I cover do their best to help veterans with housing. but you're not actually covered by the Armed Forces Covenant and it's not making you a priority. It's to make sure you're not disadvantaged, to make sure that your time in the forces doesn't impact on your place in the queue. So unfortunately, veterans, once you've left, you are a civilian. You do have that help with, so you're not disadvantaged in the first year or so, but after that, you're just like everybody else, unfortunately.
Thanks, Finn. And we'll understand more in January when it's, you know, when we've got somebody who works in that department for Swansea Council can explain it a lot better. I just wanted to say what she sent me today, just to say in this meeting. There's one more thing I'd like to say. We are thinking of holding this meeting in person going forward, and the rationale behind that is because when you're in the room, we can have more conversations after the meeting's finished. So we'll have to discuss this and let you know going forward if that can happen. But we have been talking about it. So if there's no one else wants to talk, well, come on now. I give you the updates and we've gone past that.
I was just letting everyone say their piece.
Come on, stop being so chilled.
Oh, it's my day off. I'm chilled. I've got flip-flops on. Hi everyone. Just a small update. I know Emma from SSC isn't here, so I'll update how we've been working together recently. So so far we've been delivering, well, over 15 schools we've delivered to now, which is a youth mental health and wellbeing program. And it's targeted to service children. I didn't realise the extent of, or how many service children are actually in education or in Swansea schools, and they are classed as vulnerable. So we are doing what we can to give them some mental health support and really educate them on life as a service child and the difficulties, but also helping them at the same time. So that's going really well. Just following up on the surfing group and dipping group with the Veterans RV, we're growing weekly, I would say, and we're going to need probably some help with that to get some more equipment, some more surfboards, different types of surfboards for some of the guys that are slightly less mobile, shall we say. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So I thought I'd just give you a little small update.
Thanks, Phil.
Cheers.
David?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Just one quick one from me, please. The council traditionally does Silence in the Square in Castle Square for Remembrance Day on the 11th. Due to some works planned in Castle Square, we're moving the location this year, so it'll be at a new site, St David's Place, which is outside the old Iceland in the city centre. The event's still going ahead, it's just a new site. That's it, thank you.
Thank you. It'll be quite nice there. Change of venue, as long as everybody's aware of it. That is sort of lots of comms to go out. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the ones attending in the room, and thank you on the screen. And see you in January. Thank you.